Hi,
Hey everyone!
welcome. Happy
We were very
Tuesday.
suddenly live just then.
Oops, I was so excited to start. Happy Tuesday,
Yeah.
everyone. My name is Pearl, and I am from Florida in the United States. And I am a teacher
And
along with David in one of the Milano schools.
and I'm David. I'm from South London in England. So you've got two accents to hear today, some British and some American, which would be nice for you.
Yeah, so if this is your first webinar, please write in the chat, say hi. We love talking to our students. We love knowing who we're speaking to. It makes the lesson more fun. There is a delay in the chat, so we will not immediately see your comments, but we always do our best to acknowledge them when we do. So please don't be shy and comment in the chat.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Let's get started. So today we're going to go over words to live by in this focus activity, famous sayings, reported speech, and proverbs. I'm saying that right. Proverbs.
Proverbs, yeah. That's how I say it anyway.
Proverbs. Maybe I'm pretty sure it's proverbs. So reported speech. Reported speech is different from direct speech, which when we are basically reporting what someone else said to another person or another source. In general, when we want to use reported speech, how do we do it? David, do you know? How do we change
Oh,
speech to reported speech?
so there's a few things you have to change. First of all, you have to change your the voice. So is it first person, second person? Take one step back in time. So if it goes from present tense, well, it goes from present tense to past tense. And then
Yeah,
past
so
simple, what does that become?
we shift. Sorry, I'm writing a tense back.
Ah,
I'm writing it. Reported speech, we shift a tense back. So yes, so present simple goes to past simple. Past simple goes to past perfect.
past perfect, everyone's favorite tense.
Yes, past perfect. Past continuous goes to past perfect continuous. And past perfect,
Stays in past perfect, right?
yep, past perfect stays in past perfect. And future simple,
Future simple. Oh, that's a difficult one because will is a modal verb.
yes. Hi, Donatella. Thank you for saying hi. Welcome. Please say hi in the
Hey,
chat
welcome then.
so you know what we're talking. Yes, so Daniela from Bologna. Hi, Daniela from Bologna. Hello. Oh, from Rome. Ah, me and David are in Milan right now. Oh, we're so spread out around the country. How wonderful.
Perfect.
Good. So continuing future simple, as David said, will is a modal, so it gets shift back to another modal, which is
It is would.
would. Yes.
Yeah. Will becomes would, just like can becomes could. So the past of will is would.
Good. So besides will and can, what other modal shifts back? Because the other modals don't. All the modals stay the same
Ooh,
except for 3, I believe. So
three. Ooh,
what
okay.
modal shift back? So what modals shift back? So we said can, will, it's a semi-modal, I should say. Oh,
Are you
another
waiting for
one.
me?
There's 2 more. There's 4.
Four. I can count two.
So could doesn't shift back. Can goes to could, Donatella, and should doesn't shift at all. So should stays the same. So should doesn't shift, but and could doesn't, but can goes to could.
Will, shall, and can becomes would, should, and could.
Oh yeah. Would, should. Would doesn't
Will,
shift
shall.
back. Yeah, will, shall, not including shall. But yeah, can. So what modal shift back? So it's can, will, may, have to.
Perfect.
Can shifts back to could, will to would, may to might, and then have to had to. So those shift back. The other modals do not shift back. They stay the same. They stay the same. Good guess.
But actually, attention with may, because it possibility. But if it's for permission,
yes.
if it's for permission, we use a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes could.
Might? They can't use might? Might how I use the bathroom. Yeah, I
He
guess
said,
it's fine.
yeah, I said he could use the bathroom.
Yeah.
No?
All right. That's
Perfect.
good. Reported speech is fun. Who said it? Let's see. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Dance first, think later. It's the natural order. Yep. Can one desire too much of a good thing? One cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one has not dined well. Oh, wonderful quotes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, I did. So in the chat, match the quote to their authors, the person who said it. I think. Do you agree with these quotes, David? Do you think success consists of going from
without loss of enthusiasm? Yes. I mean, I don't live my life like that. Usually failure can demotivate me, but I agree with it. It's the persistence which is key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like enthusiasm.
I
agree with that. Dance first, think later. It's the natural order. Nah.
No. I am not a dancer, so.
Yeah, no, definitely not. One can one desire too much of a good thing? Oh, that's a question. That one.
Can one desire too much of a good thing? I think yes.
Yes, of course. I think so.
Everything in moderation.
I knew you were going to say that, of course.
It's like my life motto. Everything in moderation. Good. So in the chat, we're matching the quote with the person who said it. So to start, success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Who do you think said it? David?
Ooh, I think that one, if I've got my British history right, that is Churchill. Right?
Yes, it is Churchill.
Perfect. Good job, Donatella.
Donatella says one is Churchill. Clara, hi Clara, welcome. Thanks for joining us again. I remember Clara was from Bologna, maybe. I think I remember. Good. And Clara says, dance first, think later. It's the natural order. Is Samuel Beckett? Yes. Good. And then Donatella says, can one desire too much of a good thing? Is Parma. Dang it. I couldn't remember. It's close to Bologna, Clara. Sorry. I knew it was somewhere around there. Good. This is William Shakespeare. 1B. Daniela. 2 is D. 3 is C. William Shakespeare. Good. And then last but not least, is Virginia Woolf. One cannot think well, love well, sleep well, die well. I think so too. I sleep very well when my stomach is full of food.
Yeah, definitely. And I cannot think properly if I am hungry at any time. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Really,
Which
really
quote
impossible.
in the chat, which quote do you all agree with the most? So in the chat, tell us which quote you agree with the most. Definitely about food.
For me, number 4, 100%.
Yes, I'm already thinking what I want to eat for a snack.
Yeah, I just had lunch and I'm thinking, oh, I kind of want more. Plus, it's
This
making me feel
quarantine.
fresh for this webinar.
Boredom eating. That's just the worst. Just this
Oh, it
quarantine.
is the worst. I'm staying very strict with food and making sure I don't just eat through this quarantine.
I went to the supermarket this morning, so I restocked.
Good job. Did you get healthy foods?
Donatella, yes, I did. I got a lot of vegetables because there was
Good.
a lot available, so I was proud of myself. Donatella says the first is my mantra. Oh, well, good for you, Donatella. Success is going from failure to growth. Atlas. So you never give up. Yes. Clara says the same thing because failure helps us to understand the errors. That is true. That is right. You never give up. We learn from our mistakes. David, me and you're the only ones that think of food. I mean, I agree.
Definitely got a food oriented
I
life.
agree with the first one, but the fourth one speaks to my soul more.
It really does for me as well. It's straight to my heart, especially if we're thinking about pizza.
Yes, it really does. But I agree with most of them. All right. Good. So here we go. Reporting verbs. Different reporting verbs are used for different sentence categories. We have to memorize which category they fit into. Verbs followed by if or whether, asked, said, knew, inquired. He inquired whether the match would be canceled. Verbs followed by that, said, told, stated, confirmed, observed, promised, remarked. And verbs followed by an infinitive, asked, decided, promised, remembered. Before, I have a question. So, do we, when we're using if or whether, we're using it for a question. Do we use if and whether for closed or open questions? Do we use if and whether for closed or open question? Do you know,
Very good
David?
question. I do. I was just thinking about the verb knew because she knew if. Is that?
Is the match? Yes, Daniela,
Yeah, she
closed.
knew.
We used if and whether for closed questions. Good job, Donatella. We used them for closed question. He inquired whether the match would be canceled. He asked if the match would be canceled. Is fine. Good. For that, when we're speaking about reported speech, it is not always necessary to use that. Yes, Clara, close. Yes, you're remembering well from the last class. Yes. For verbs that followed by that and reported speech, we do not always need to use that. It is optional. We can say it. We can say she confirmed she would be late. It is fine. If you want to use that, you can. If you don't, it is fine as well. Right? Oh, I do want to say that sometimes we do use present simple in reported speech for things that are always true or for things happening in the moment. For example, David told me his favorite color is blue. Green?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Perfect grammar, but my favorite color is not blue, unfortunately.
Is it green?
No, not green. Definitely not green.
Your chili bottle's green.
It is because it looks good in green, but my favorite color is orange.
Okay, not even close. So David just told me his favorite color is green. So it is green. Orange. It is something that is always true. So we keep reported speech in present simple for things that are always true. Where David told me he's teaching now. So if things are happening in the moment are things that are always true, we do use present simple. So it is possible, but only for those two specific circumstances. Great.
Perfect.
Orange. Now I'll never forget.
You're a whiz at this.
All right, David, would you mind reading?
So here, reported speech in different tenses. When using reported speech, we normally shift back a tense from the direct speech statement. So direct speech, I'm playing the guitar, present continuous. I've seen Juventus play, present perfect. And we were performing at the gig, past continuous. We need to match that to the tense that is shifted back one step. So the reported speech is, he said that he was playing the guitar, past continuous. He told me he had seen Juventus play, past perfect. Claimed that had been performing at the gig, past perfect continuous. Very high level tense there. So it's a good opportunity to get that past perfect continuous in.
Yes, past perfect continuous. As long as you remember the structure. Great job. All right, let's continue. This talks about our modals, which I mentioned earlier. I can run a marathon. Changes to she said that she could run a marathon because can switches to could. We may go to the party tonight. They told me that they might go to the party tonight. So may switches back to might. It will rain tonight. He predicted that it would rain tonight. So we're shifting back to would. Remember, can, may, will, and have to, study modal, all shift back.
Cool.
Have to goes to had to. Good. So in the chat, convert these direct speech sentences into reported speech. So in the chat, convert these direct speech sentences into reported speech.
Oh, I like it. In there, we've got modals and a question.
Yeah, so you can say said, told, remarked, yelled, I don't know, promised, whatever you want. Be creative. Lewis can run like the wind. Rachel went to Mexico. And I will never be late again, I promise. A dangerous thing to promise.
Cool. We can up the challenge and say we can't use the verb said because said is too easy.
Yeah, don't use the word said. Use something else. Use a different
word. I'll be back 1 second. I just need a tissue for my nose.
Sick. Oh my God, what if he's sick? I don't think David's sick. Okay. Paul said that Lewis could run like the wind. Lewis said that he could run like the wind. He said that he could run like the wind. Rachel said that she had gone to Mexico. No, wait. Sorry. Daniela, Rachel went to Mexico is a question. So Rachel said that she had gone to Mexico would be for a different direct speak, but pay attention. Number 2, the second one is a question. It's a question.
Yeah, I heard that. We definitely need a question structure for the reported speech there. And I heard you, I'm not sick. I'm fine.
She asked if she had gone to Mexico. Good. I promise that I would never be late again. Okay, great. So number 2, she asked if she had gone to Mexico. Great. Lewis can run like the wind. he said that Lewis could run like the wind, or he said Lewis could run like the wind. Remember, that isn't necessary all the time. She asked if Rachel had gone to Mexico, or she asked whether Rachel had gone to Mexico. And whoops. And I will never be late again, I promise. He promised that he would never be late again. Easy, right? Make sure we're paying attention to our pronouns and who is saying what. All right, let's continue. Wise words. Donatella, he promised that he would never be late again. Yes, good job, Donatella. Wise words. Read the famous proverbs below, and what do they mean to you? Two wrongs don't make a right. No man is an island. Fortune favors the bold. There's no place like home. The early bird catches the worm, and better late than never. That's probably one I use the most.
You're never late, are you?
I'm rarely late. I'm rarely late. Good. So what does that mean? Two wrongs don't make a right. What does that mean? So in the chat, tell us what does two wrongs don't make a right mean? This is something my mom would tell me.
Yeah, me too.
Two wrongs.
There is one on there that I don't understand. No man is an island. I've never heard that before. I don't know what that means.
Maybe I had. I think it's an American one. We'll get there. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's very similar to turn the other cheek. Right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
To turn the other cheek, very similar to two wrongs don't make a right. I don't like it. It's very turn the other cheek. Yes, so I don't know if they have something similar in Italian to this. Two wrongs don't make a right.
No, I don't know.
Good. So in the chat, tell us, what does two wrongs don't make a right mean? Two wrongs don't make a right. I'm trying to think of an occasion where that quote applied to me.
Three lefts make a right.
Sometimes the detail is not an evidence.
Not quite.
Not quite for two wrongs don't make a right.
No.
We're not able to do anything that is good. That's
nice idea, Clara, but unfortunately not. No.
Good. That's logical though. Do not persist in doing the wrong things. That is pretty close, Daniela. So in general, two wrongs don't make a right, which pretty much mean if someone does something bad to you, you shouldn't reciprocate or take revenge. You should let it go, because if someone does a bad action to you, you should
just because they did something wrong.
Yeah, sorry, David. Continue.
No, sorry. I thought you'd stop talking. But yeah, you said exactly what I said. If someone does something wrong, you doing something wrong again doesn't make it okay, doesn't make it right. So, like you said,
so it's very similar to an eye for an eye makes the world blind, right?
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Oh, you know.
No, I've heard eye for an eye, but I've never heard the second half. I always thought eye for an eye means you take mine, yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so well, anyway, an eye for an eye makes the world blind is very similar to two wrongs don't make a right. So just because someone does something bad to you, you shouldn't do something bad to them. It doesn't make the situation better. But those are very good guesses. Good job, guys. I didn't know. Number 2, no man is an island. David doesn't know what this means, so maybe the students know.
No,
so in the
I've
chat,
never heard this before.
What does no man is an island mean? No man is an island. So in the chat, maybe you guys know. No man is an island. I know what it means. Maybe it's more of an American expression. No man is an island. The song makes me think of the Simon and Garfunkel song. Yes, Clara, Daniela, it's better to do things together instead of alone. People need to stay together. It means like, yeah, no man is an island means you really can't do things alone. Like there's no I in team.
Ah, okay. So now I know that one. There's no I in team.
There's an ME.
There's me.
But yes, no man is an island means people need to stay together, or it's better to do things or doing things together instead of alone. Good job. Next,
Cool. So
fortune
like this
favors the
quarantine,
bold.
everyone goes onto the balcony.
Sorry,
So for that
David.
singing and dancing every day at 6 p.m., it's nice that everyone goes out and dances to show that we're all in this quarantine together.
Exactly. Also, we all have to stay inside. We have to work together. Right? Except for Greg.
Perfect.
Good. Third, fortune favors the bold. What does that mean? Daniela says you have to dare to reach results. Yeah, you have to be brave to get what you want. The people who are successful are people who are brave and took risks, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
More.
because bold people are courageous people, and what they say is no risk, no reward.
No risk, no
So,
reward. You're right.
perfect.
Good, Clara. If you are brave, you'll get a lot of fortune, hopefully. Yes, fortune. Good. There's no place like home. I think we all know what that means. If you are shy and don't like risks, you could not appreciate the fortune. You could not get the fortune. Fortune favors the bold means like you could not get the fortune. Or you wouldn't be as fortunate as people who are bold, maybe.
Perfect.
Right? Good. There's no place like home. How ironic now that we are in quarantine.
Definitely.
There's
Definitely.
no place. Yes, Donatella. Home sweet home, always.
Exactly.
Home sweet. There's no place like home. Home will always be home. Exactly.
Yeah, imagine if you were accidentally quarantined outside of in another country. That would be terrible.
Yeah. It's my favorite. I'm Sicilian and I always repeat there's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. Exactly. There's no place. I guess my home will always be America deep down. Always be America. Italy is my second home. Italy is my second home. Good. Next, the early bird catches the worm. I like
Oh,
this
I do
saying.
know this one.
Yes. The early bird catches the worm. I think they have a similar expression in Italian. Maybe it has to do with fish. I could be wrong. No.
I want to know that. I've never heard it before.
I think there's a similar expression in Italian with different animals. In English, we say the early bird catches the worm. I think. I don't know. Well, what does that mean? What do you all think it means?
Yeah, kind of. Definitely. It's not wrong. Don't be a couch potato. Definitely. I like that answer, Daniela. Very nice.
But we're all couch potatoes now, more or less.
Mm, I still wake up early and I still get some work done. I try not to stay on the sofa all day. If you do things before, you'll get advantages, kind of. These are all kind of close. But the idea is specifically the early bird.
What does it mean, David?
So I would see this as someone, yeah, like everyone is saying, someone who takes risks will get the reward. But the idea is that you always go first, always try and get up early in the morning, try and reach your activities for the day as soon as you can, because then you will see your success much more, much sooner than everyone else. That's what I see.
That's what my dad used to tell me to convince me to wake up early when I was in high school, and I was like, no, I don't want the worm.
Yeah, my mum would always say this one, the early bird catches the worm, or she would say, um, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yes, I've heard that one.
Yeah, early to
I am
bed,
not,
early to rise.
I am not early to bed, but sometimes I am early to rise.
I'm quite early to rise, never early to bed. Never.
To bed. In Italy, we say, yes, I knew it had to do with fish. Daniela, in Italy, we say, who sleeps doesn't take fish. I knew it had something to do with fish. I remembered, more or less.
Perfect.
We have another fish
Nice.
one
I like hearing the
about.
Italian versions of these phrases.
Yeah, good. Oh yeah, we have that in. I love when the students tell me so I can understand. Good. Last one. Better late than never is my favorite. I do it all the time. I say this one. I say this one the most. Maybe to other
Yeah.
people, not myself.
Is it the fact that your dad would say to you, the early bird catches the worm, and then you would say, better late than never?
You know, I wish I was that clever when I was younger to have thought of that. Better late than never. I think it's the same in Italian. It's the same in Italian. Better late than never. What does it mean, guys? Better late than never. I'm trying to think the last time I used that. Maybe when I was late to dinner party. Like, I'm here. I think it's the same in Italian. Also, if you have not done until now, you are still on time to do it. Even if you are delaying in doing something, it's better to do it instead. Yeah, Clara. So it's better to do something than to not do it at all.
Of course.
Right? It's better to do something than to not do it at all. Which one is your favorite proverb? Which one applies to you the most?
Ooh, they are two very different questions.
Which is your favorite saying? Your favorite one? So in the chat, tell us.
Because the most, I guess, is no place like home. But I think my favorite is the early bird catches the worm, personally.
The importance is always trying to do it. Yes, the last one is better late than never. It's important to always try. Yes. My favorite one is two wrongs don't make a right.
That's a good one.
Just because I have to remind myself to, like when someone bumps, like hits me getting off the train, like don't say anything.
You just whisper to yourself.
For me, Daniela, the early bird, yes. And Daniela, my favorite one is the last one, better late than never. This is a very popular, famous word for people who are late a lot. My sister says this a lot to me. She's always late.
Yeah.
Better late than never. And like sometimes I say, sometimes never is fine. When I'm angry with her. Great.
I like the quote from Lord of the Rings when, do you know Lord of the Rings, Pearl?
I love it. I read all the books and watched all the films.
Oh, wow.
I'm a nerd.
In the second one, when Gandalf is late to the battle at Helm's Deep, he says, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I thought you're going to tell me about when, from Princess Diaries, when the queen of Genovia, she's like, I am not late. Everyone is simply early.
I like that. I like that.
The queen is never late. Everyone is simply early. Perfect. All right. Let's continue.
Here we have a dialogue that we need to convert from direct speech into reported speech. Umberto Eco? I'm saying that right. But the interviewer, what do you think of America? Umberto, I've been With this time 55 times in America, I feel pretty at home. Interviewer, you've traveled a lot. Do you have a favorite place? Many, but if I had to select a place to live in other than Italy, it would be New York or Paris. Who would you cite as your important literary predecessors? Well, that's a heavy question.
Predecessor.
Certainly, because I've written a book on Joyce, Joyce would be an influence.
Good. Clara says there's no place like home because I've understood the value of my city and my sea when I moved to the north of Italy. Even if Parma is a beautiful city, it won't be like home. Yes, Sicily is a very beautiful region. I love Sicily. Me and David had a wonderful time when we went to Sicily. It was great.
Yeah, I loved Sicily so much. I was addicted to the what is it called? Arancini. Is that right? Arancini?
If you're from Palermo's are no wait, if you're from Catania.
Palermo was Arancina.
Catania's arancini. Clara will tell us.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So while we're waiting, so for this dialogue in the chat, change the words, the sentences for the interviewer and Umberto Eco into reported speech. So the interviewer asked Umberto what? Asked Umberto what? You got it. You guys can do it.
Yeah, and then asked if, inquired whether.
Yeah. Umberto replied. So interviewer, what do you think of America? So how can we change that to reported speech?
Yeah, we can really get practice of our different verbs for reported speech here. Told, said, asked, remarked.
The interviewer asked him. Remember, we only use whether or if for closed question. What do you think of America is an open question, so we do not need to use whether or if. Arancini is Catania, Arancini is Palermo. Got it.
Perfect. So maybe I should say Arancini because I've got friends from Catania, and so I don't want to annoy my friends.
True. Gotta be careful.
That's it. Interviewer asked.
Good. Donatella said what he thought about thought of America. Clara, the interviewer asked Echo what he thought of America. Echo replied that he had been 55 times in the U.S. and he felt pretty at home.
Perfect.
Great. Good job,
answer.
Daniela says interviewer asked America what he thought of America. Great. Good job. Let's continue. Don't stop. You guys are on a roll.
Yeah, keep going. It's really cool.
You know, when we speak in reported speech, we don't think about it. We just say it.
Yeah. And sometimes actually when I tell a story, it might be bad that I do it, but sometimes I use direct quotes. Sometimes I use reported speech. I sort of balance between the two.
Mm-hmm. Remember, if we are repeating what someone says verbatim, word for word, it's called quoted speech. So if I am saying exactly what David said to someone else and I am quoting him, so it's quoted speech. We're not doing quoted speech. It's too easy. We're doing reported speech. It's more difficult.
Definitely. You need to take that step back, practice the past perfect.
Good. Interviewer asked if he had a favorite place. Yep.
Perfect
Good.
question.
Good, Danielle. He asked if he had a favorite place, asked whether he had a favorite place. Both are correct. Interview observed that UE, that had traveled a lot, right? Had traveled a lot. Then he asked if he had a favorite place. Good.
Perfect. I like that use of the first sentence. Observe that he had traveled a lot. That's really cool. So
Observe,
first
yes,
has an
let's
observation and
expand our
then perfect. And then his answer.
answer. I replied, many. Me and David are doing it too in our minds.
In our minds, or are you speaking out loud?
Thinking out loud.
Responded is a good verb when you answer a question.
Respond, reply. His reply is like a trick question.
Why?
Because there are modals in there.
Oh, yeah.
So he affirmed that if he had to select a place, he would have chosen. He would have. Remember, should is for advice. He would have chosen because, and this when you say he would have chosen, we're using a conditional here. He would have a third conditional. He would have chosen. He would have chosen New York or Paris. If he had to select a place, he would have chosen, because if he had to select a place, it's a mixed conditional. 3, interviewer requested who Echo would have cited as important predecessors.
Very good.
He answered that he had many, but if he had to select, it would have been New York or Paris. Good, it would have been New York or Paris. Good. Good job, guys. If he had to, have to. Had to is already in the past. Oh. Good job, guys.
If you had to. If you had to.
It would have been. Yep. Interview. Who would you? Don't tell. Interview requested who Echo would have cited. Who, not whose. Who. Daniela, he answered that he had many, but if he had to select, it would have been. Okay, I'm just rereading the same thing. Last one. Certainly. Because I got excited. Certainly, because so Donatella, interviewer requested who, because whose is for possession, and we're not talking about possession here, talking about who. So who Echo would have cited as his important predecessors. Echo claimed that he had written a book on Joyce, who had been an influence on him. Yes. So remember, not whose,
Perfect.
who, because whose is for possession. Like, whose pen is this? But good job, guys. It was difficult. It was a difficult one.
Yeah. Really good work there. Nice.
Let's continue. That was easy. But now to switch it around. So below we have reported speech, and now you have to switch it to direct speech. So instead of switching or shifting back to reported, we're going to shift forward to go from reported to direct speech.
Perfect. And careful, because here we're just doing the questions. So ignore me. Carry on.
The reported speech, the interviewer asked Umberto what his literary influences are. So the direct speech would be a question.
Yeah,
Remember,
first one would be a question, not all of them.
yes,
My
remember,
bad.
we're going to switch this from reported to direct. I want a snack. Do I want a snack? Am I hungry? I'm not hungry.
I need a nap. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Good. Interviewer, what are your literary influences? Good. What are your literary influences? Right? Good. Direct speech. Umberto Eco said that his literary influences were diverse. Good, Clara. My literary influences are diverse. What is this one? Good. Inquired whether Umberto Eco had a favorite place. So, Clara, have you a favorite place? We're missing either an auxiliary or something after have. You. If I had. Number 2, my literary influences are diverse. So, one question. Reporting speech.
So, Daniela, careful with that one. If I have to live in another country, I will live in New York or Paris. Here, so we need to be careful on which conditional we use when we're asking or answering hypothetically. If I have to live, it would be if I had to live in another country. I would live in New York or Paris.
Good. So remember, the question is, do you have a favorite place? Have you got a favorite place? Echo remarked that, so he's saying third conditional here. Hypothetical. Yeah, hypothetical. No, second conditional. Second conditional. Whew. Second conditional. So I would live. If he had to live in another country, he would live in New York or Paris. So remember, it's a conditional sentence.
Yeah. Careful on that one, Clara. Would. I would live because it's conditional. But good.
Good. We don't switch forward. Have you got, good, Daniela, have you got a favorite place? Good. That is, or do you have a favorite place? Both are correct. We use whether or if. Great job, guys.
Nice work.
Good. Before we finish, can someone using reported speech tell me something from the news today? There's a lot of news happening. Or yesterday, like what did the President Macron say? He said that, or Trump, or Boris Johnson. I don't know what's happening there. So using reported speech, tell us about the news in the last couple days. Who said what?
Perfect. Myes 10:13. If I had a favorite place, it would be near Ponte Vecchio eating my cabbage. Was that you?
Was that you? No?
That wasn't me. Okay, it must be the next people that have logged on to do the next podcast, perhaps.
If I had a favorite place, it would be near Ponte Vecchio eating my cabbage.
Trump admitted that he under-evaluated
the situation. Well, that is true. Yes, Daniela. Trump admit that is very rare for him to admit that he is wrong. But yes, Trump admitted that he under-evaluated the situation, or he didn't know. He never takes credit for things he messes up.
Did you hear that Idris Elba now has the coronavirus?
Yes, Idris Elba said that he had contracted coronavirus.
Perfect. Most dangerous man. Now is Johnson. You agreed, Donatella. It's terrible. Yesterday, French president
Good.
declared that his country would be on
Yesterday, the
lockdown.
French president
Perfect.
declared that his country would be locked down. Yes. She would be locked down. Good. Actually, he didn't admit, but the rest of the world, yes. Yeah, he didn't admit, but he said that it was not his fault that he did not know. But anyway, thanks guys. Good job today with reported speech. It's a little difficult to remember, but you guys did really, really well. Thank you for joining David and I. We enjoy having you guys here. We hope to see you guys again and that you enjoy the rest of your week and you stay safe inside.
Yeah, and the interaction is really good, guys. Thank you so much for that, because it makes it so much more fun for everyone.
Right. All right, guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, have a good St. Patrick's Day. Yes.
It's nice.